in our conception process, it just had to be so intentional, right? I think that that's a big part of this journey as people that have to conceive a child in a different way than the traditional way. I'll send over the wedding invitation as soon as I can.
Hey,
we're getting a wedding invite.
Right. Welcome to episode 11 of the Glued Together podcast. Jaylee and I are rushing. Again, we've been doing these in my lunch break, and we're just tight on time today. So
yes,
we're going to welcome you in taking 2 deep breaths before this podcast begins.
Okay.
You want to start? You're kind of like that's your thing.
Okay. Yeah. I just came from a session doing that. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So just start to get in touch with.
Okay, we're doing the whole thing. All right. I thought we were just doing two. I was trying to. Okay, you take the ship. I'm here.
So just start to acknowledge your breath, the sensations of it. And then on your next breath, take it in through your nose and release it through your mouth. One more breath like that, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if at any point during the podcast you start to feel overwhelmed, just bringing your attention back to that deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, I think we're ready.
All right. I've really taken on, shout out to Kate. I've taken on Kate's kind of like wiggle. Like I really feel like just like, for me, just like getting a little shake out of your body has been really helpful. Something that I learned from her. So, so now that we've taken 3 deep breaths, cheers to caffeine.
Yes, and less caffeine. So
yes.
I felt like I was being good because I got tea instead of
Okay.
coffee.
Yes. Cheers.
Because I'm trying to be better about coffee in the afternoon, and it's already 12:20.
Yes. So Jaylee and I are bringing our most basic white suburban lives to today's podcast with our pumpkin Starbucks.
Yeah. So I didn't get a PSL. I got a PST, a pumpkin spice chai latte, I guess.
Yeah. Financial tip. We waited until, because every year they do a fall BOGO and they do a summer BOGO too. So we wait until the BOGO happens. We get 2 for the price of 1. That's kind of been really focused on finances lately. So.
Yeah, we don't drink much Starbucks anymore.
No.
Like I said, we make a lot of at-home coffee. And
shout out to Bulletproof.
Yes.
It tastes good. I mean, that's why we get it. This is good.
Honestly, this is dessert. Because like this is just sweet fall, like nostalgic goodness. And that's what it is, and that's what we need sometimes.
I always get every time I go to Starbucks or anywhere, I always get less pumps of whatever it is because it's always too sugary for me.
It's just very sweet.
I didn't get any of the whipped cream, none of the pumpkin stuff on top. Like no shade. I know people like that, but it turns it into way too sweet for me.
Yeah, I had mentioned on the last podcast that I don't drink sugary coffee in the morning anymore.
Right.
And so like this is like literal dessert.
Is it really? Is it extra sweet to you
I'm
now?
Like swimming in like pumpkin sugary spice land.
So not that to take you away from that, but if you did want to like lighten it up, I've noticed that whatever pumps they put in, I just usually ask for 1 less pump and it always comes out just as good, to be honest.
Right.
That seems to be my go-to at least. But Jaylee started talking about this and then I said, stop, save it for the podcast. So what were you saying about my toes?
So apparently in the last podcast, specifically the last Instagram reel that we released that was like a clip of the last podcast, Aiden's foot was like the center of attention.
My toes, baby. But I'm wearing a shoe today Not necessarily on purpose, because I actually don't
Well, it's
want
actually
shoes on the
kind of funny.
couch.
Yeah, yeah.
But maybe you're gonna have to drop some coins to see my feet in the future.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna have an only feet account.
well, it's funny because all summer we were definitely barefoot because we were sweating it.
Oh yeah,
Sweating in
and
here.
now it's starting to get cold in
And
here
it's boot
pretty quick.
season, and it's gonna like be a long time before you see this girl out of boots. Like I love any excuse to put them on.
I still don't like to. I don't like to wear shoes. Period. Really.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're a boots girl. We've already had financial conversations about boots.
I'm a boots girl to the point where I have a summer birthday and I saved the money I got for my birthday to put towards boots.
Yep.
Did not buy anything in the summer, was not interested in any summer wear. I saved it for the boots.
Yeah.
And honestly, like it wasn't fun to wear boots in Florida or Texas because it was just too hot. I mean, I would try every now and then, but
in Oregon, the dilemma was that you tend to like suede boots, especially because like no leather, right? And you like to wear suede, but you can't wear suede in Oregon.
Yeah,
it's not a good look.
Yeah, like and even the fake suede, like you can't really. The rain still doesn't like it, so I would like get that spray and like whatever, but it still isn't ideal. So.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows what is even that spray is even made of?
Right,
I don't even know.
Yeah.
So, but so fall is now here. I know last week. I wasn't quite, I was ahead of the game, but now I'm here. Shout out to everyone who's been dropping questions. Our questions bucket.
Yes.
Filled up.
We asked and you delivered.
Yes.
Thank you so
Ask
much.
and you shall
honestly,
receive.
Because we kept meaning to ask about more questions or ask for more questions. And then this week we finally got on it. Like Aiden was definitely the ringleader of that, asking for the questions. So, excuse me. I'm so glad that we have so many more to answer.
Yeah, it's exciting. So we are going on a fun trip this weekend. Very excited. My brother and his fiance live in upstate New York, and we are going to go apple picking, which I'm very excited about. I told Antler we were going to get apple cider donuts, and he said he didn't want them. Do you know what he told me?
What did he say?
He said that he wanted the donuts with the pink on the outside. You know, like the classic Homer Simpson donut with the pink and the sprinkles. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and I'm realizing that he doesn't remember that much from when I mean, I guess it's normal because like most people don't really remember much before 3 years old. But he was looking at a birthday picture of him at his 3rd birthday and he was like, Mama, so did we have a party that had Elsa and
that's
from
so
Frozen?
funny.
And yeah, like he's like pointing things out in the picture and he's like, Mama, I don't remember this. And
that's
I was like so sad that he didn't remember that we brought Elsa to his birthday party. It was like
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, it was just in a moment of awareness as a parent that like, oh wow, like so it's real that your kid really doesn't remember, even though they were fully present there and like loved it and like it just you just don't know what they're gonna remember and not remember. So that connects to something we were just talking about, and Aiden's gonna take it on because I got lost in that story.
That's okay. I don't know. All I know, what I was gonna say is that like this is why spending a lot of money on your kids' early birthdays is not worth it.
Oh my gosh.
The first birthday is fun. I feel like the first birthday is like, we have a 1-year-old, and honestly, there's just a lot of things that could happen to a child. That's like the highest time to have complications between the mother, the child, the family dynamic. So I feel like 1-year birthday is like, yes, we made it. We birthed a being together. We kept that motherfucker alive. And we are celebrating that it has been 1 year, right? Especially because you lose like the first, on average, a birthing person loses 6 months of sleep in the first 5 years. So you've already lost a month of sleep in that first year. So, but
honestly, if I could do it again, I would have the smash cake.
We had a smash cake.
No, I mean like me.
Oh,
I would get to sit on the table with
that
cake
is so funny.
And smash it and like eat it with my hands.
Kind of cake is it? I want a visual.
This year of hard ass work.
Huh? What's the cake of? Is it just like a 6-inch round? Is it? Yeah. What's it look like?
chocolatey goodness.
Gooey,
Yeah, just
chocolatey,
like why can't I
ganache.
be messy with it? And yeah, I don't know. I think that you're right. It really is a celebration of the first year of parenthood,
Mm-hmm.
especially because yeah, like they don't remember it.
No. I show pictures of Antler. I'm like, that's you. He's like, oh. Oh. I'm like, well, yeah. Think of how much money we spent on that. Which honestly, like, we had help from family because we threw it at our house. Like, we didn't go too crazy, and
Yeah.
I made the cake, which is usually one of the really expensive things. We barbecued. Like, we are always very pretty low key. Honestly, like that's
Yeah.
just our vibe, though. I think that even if, I mean, who doesn't love a fancy occasion? But
Yeah.
our vibe is very home bodied. Like,
Yeah, we had a really nice, you could say fancy wedding, but it still was like so homemade. Like we made all the
yes,
centerpieces and like
I made all the cake. I made the
yeah.
cake.
Yeah.
We,
Mhm.
my groom's cake was stacks of Oreos with glasses of milk in front of it because
Yes.
which was
The
really
the low
creative.
lift
Yeah. Well,
successful groomscape.
and I used to drink like a lot of milk.
It's true. It's true.
I used to drink so much milk. But then, and like even which I kind of feel like now, if we were to have a bar, it's an open bar. But we had like a 2-drink tickets. And then I just ended up giving people shots the whole night for free,
Right.
which is what brought up our tab. But I feel like if you're going to have a wedding, either have no bar or open bar. I just feel like that. I feel like I regret our choice of just either having no bar or open bar. You know what I mean? Like, just that's it, But yeah, everything was like put together from friends who wanted to help, and like instead of giving a gift, they like helped us with the lighting. I also had a lot of friends in the wedding industry, but in
Oh my
general,
God, Jess to play cello on
yes,
Instagram, our girl Jess.
yes,
She came in with her cello and like
played for like an
music.
hour.
Yeah, like an extensive amount of like
Right.
time.
I don't even know,
like while people were like getting ready for the ceremony
Yep.
and when guests were arriving, and it was just
Yep.
so memorable and so special.
Yeah, that was really nice. And but I feel like in general our vibe is homemade vibe. Like I feel like we're either or. Like we're kind of like we love a good fancy thing. We love like an expensive high quality piece of something, but we also love like a backyard pool party with a barbecue. You know what I mean? Like and I feel like those things match, right? Cuz it's like we like a nice a pretty backyard and a pretty pool and high quality food. But like it doesn't have to be fancy in other ways. You know what I mean? Right. So it's kind of like it's interesting how we, So this year, I guess we'll talk about Antler's birthday as we get closer. But this year we're really like sneak peek. We're really thinking about like how do we make this fun for him, but fiscal and just like geared towards the kids. Now that the kids are older and people are bringing kids, it's like more about focus on the kids than I think the adults, to be honest, So yeah, but bringing this real back, apple picking.
Yeah, so apple picking is super nostalgic for me because my family lived in New Paltz, upstate New York for like only like 3 years, to be honest. It wasn't an extensive amount of time, but it left like such a tremendous imprint on my soul. What age were you? So I
think that matters.
Yeah, it definitely matters. So I was only third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade.
Okay, those are pretty.
So it's still like elementary school.
And they're like you remember. Like I have some pretty vivid memories from third, fourth, fifth, but then they start to get scattered as I get younger.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I had a really positive experience there, just in like my soul, like because my soul loved the fact that we lived so close to the apple orchard that we could walk there and we could smell the apples when they were ripening.
Oh, that probably smells so good.
So when I smell fresh apples, like when we go this weekend, like it's just so like such a healing like scent for
Do you
me.
know where you would go? Because there's only so many places upstate New York that you could go.
It was right in New Paltz, like literally, like so our backyard like pretty much backed up to the apple orchard, like so we could like.
And so you lived in the town of New Paltz when you grew up?
Yeah.
Or in that period of time?
In that period of time. Yep.
I'll have to look on the map and see exactly. I know we're going a little more Albany, which is higher than New Paltz, right? That's like north.
Yes. A little bit. Not crazy, but yeah.
So I'd be interested because I wonder if the apple orchard is north of where my brother's at or south.
That's true.
So I don't know. We'll have to look.
Yeah. So, and yeah, we would have so many apples every fall, and like my mom is big into baking and cooking, so like we always made like
apple
a million
pie.
Of everything and had apple pies.
I really
want to
make apple pie
sauces, and just I have so many memories of that, and so I'm extra excited, and like I know that you remember like any year of our relationship that we lived in proximity to an apple orchard, I made us go apple picking.
Yeah.
And we have like pictures of us apple picking through the years.
We try to pick all the things if possible.
Yeah, we do like picking all the things. But
Oregon,
apples is like super special.
Yes. I want to make apple pie.
Yes.
Poached apples are really good too.
Those are my really gosh, good. We haven't made poached apples since that one time. Or like the last time that I remember.
I don't know if we ever made poached apples.
Did we make them there? Or maybe we made baked apples. That's
maybe baked apples.
Yeah.
I've done some baked pears back in Florida when we first got together.
That's true.
That was some things. So I was fresh out of school, so I had all these like, oh, let's do this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Delicious inspirations.
Have you gone apple picking? Drop us a comment. Apple picking. What's your favorite kind of picking? Because there's apple picking, pumpkin picking, blueberry, strawberry,
and
peaches.
How do you like to enjoy what you picked? Like, how do you eat the apple by itself? Do you like to make a certain treat? What do you do with it?
You can tell that Jenny Lee makes love to her food just by the way that you set up that question. So, how do you like to indulge in your apples? How do you eat them?
Yeah, I mean, I just obviously love them, so.
Yeah, no, they're good. I mean, I don't know what kind of apples. That's the only thing is like I'm a little picky. I don't like the soft apples. I like a crunch.
Yeah.
That's what I like to picture, and like big chunk comes off. That's what I'm vibing. But we shall see. I definitely want some apple cider because apple cider mixed with some Captain Morgan. Okay. Hot toddy.
Yes.
Little lemon.
So I definitely do enjoy a hot toddy with apple cider.
Toddy. So a hot toddy is apple cider warmed up with some rum. Usually it's rum. That's how we make it. Rum. And then some lemon juice.
Yeah. And you can make the hot toddy. I'm pretty sure the original hot toddy is non-alcoholic even, and like is like
potentially it's just hot.
But like
apple juice.
Adding rum to it is just a nice way to bring some extra warmth if you're someone that enjoys alcohol. But yeah,
you're cute. Jenny Lee's like, it's extra warmth. I'm like, we gotta get drunk. We're gonna get hot toddy up in here.
Yeah, it's definitely more of the way you see it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, I'm like, I don't shy away from the fact that like I drink alcohol. I enjoy it, but I'm also not like I've never got blackout drunk. I rarely get wasted. I get like a buzz. I have my 2 drinks, my 2 glasses of wine, or like my 3 or 4 beers, and like, or one, or like usually two drinks is usually like where I like to sit. And then, I like to have, and get a little buzz, and that's pretty much where I like to land. Some people I know just like can drink, and like if I drink in the daytime, I'm like asleep. By 4:30, I'm like sleeping. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
giving you almond butter during a podcast, maybe not the best choice.
Maybe not the best choice, but
maybe not the best choice.
Anytime I do like a deep dive session with a client, I come out starving. So I was like, I need a snack outside of this beverage.
Yeah. No, it's just like, it's like a dog when you give him peanut butter.
Yeah, no, I am definitely light on the alcohol person. I energetically don't handle much well, so that's why I say it brings a warmth, because like that for me, that's what it's
right.
That's what it is.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. I'm just teasing you.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, but in general, just saying in general. I actually used to drink IPAs for a very long time. I started drinking some more lighter beers.
Mm-hmm.
I've been into some lighter beers, so which is nicer, I think.
Yeah.
It's like it's not as heavy. I don't
Yeah.
feel as heavy when I drink it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's football season too. So, I want
Yeah.
like to have a couple of drinks during the game.
Mm-hmm.
Not a requirement, but something I would prefer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how the seasons bring in new desires, right? Like it's like
It's
even
true.
like at astrology wise, like it's Libra season now. And I noticed that whenever Libra season comes, especially because I'm a Libra rising, I want to change something about my physical appearance. Like, because Libra rules vanity and like the mirror and like,
interesting.
and so like,
I've been weird
literally-
about my appearance too lately.
yeah.
I've been more like, I hate my hair.
Yeah.
I like this outfit. Like, I've been a little more.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so the other thing that it's interesting because it's like the mirror, the reflection. Libra also rules the other person, right? So the person looking back at you.
Oh, interesting.
And so like, and how you respond to the other person and like how your relationship dynamics are. And like, those are all themes for this particular season, for Libra season. So it's a good time to be podcasting as a couple and talking about some real stuff. So
what's some advice you can give to somebody who's like feeling in their reflection, having that, like, are you saying like that the person is like vainly? Is that a word?
I don't know.
Okay. It is on this podcast.
Okay, great.
So when you're looking at your partner, like, are you saying that when you look at your partner, like, and you're feeling vanity when I'm looking at you, am I seeing myself or am I seeing you and looking at like the vanity? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean by the reflection? I think that's where I'm really asking.
Well, it's a call to focus on the reflection, right? So the reflection in the mirror is like me looking at myself, but the reflection, if I'm looking at you, like, what do you bring up in me? Like, what, and so like, it's a time of acknowledging that other people bring different parts of us out and bring different things up in us.
Right.
And like, and it does that for the purpose of us becoming better versions of ourselves and seeing ourselves more clearly through the reflection. So,
That could
honestly,
be good or
like
bad.
I got my bangs cut and I feel more myself. I feel more like, oh, this is actually like me on a soul level in this physical way. It's like a small change, but it was a part of me that I feel like it's been missing for the past year or two or however long I haven't had.
I mean, since you moved to Austin, you stopped getting bangs, and then you
Yeah.
got them for a season, but then you grew them back out. You kind of like you went back and forth, and then you just kind of stopped for a year. So
Yeah. The heat got overwhelming, but I don't think I'll ever go back. I think this is me.
never going back. never. All right. Well, today's are we doing glue? I've been the one remembering glue lately.
Oh,
Just
I know.
saying,
We're
just
switching
putting
back
it
and
out
forth.
there,
That's true.
supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, Janie Lee, what was your glue this week?
Oh, I thought you were going to share first because you brought
Nope.
it up.
Nope. Nope. I'm gonna mirror you.
Okay.
Be your reflection.
So I think my glue this week was allowing the newfound softness and intimacy that we have found as a couple be my place to retreat to after hard days as a parent. I feel like I've been going through a lot as a mom and figuring out how I can best support our son. And you have been a really great place to like come back to and like soften into like who I am on a soul level as a mom and like who I'm becoming. And like I think that like what we've created together has like provided a space for me to like feel sheltered in this like vulnerable place of motherhood that I feel like I'm in.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to think about these questions before we start our podcasts. My glue has been 5 a.m.s and early beds. I've been waking up at 5. The last 2 weeks I've been waking up like some days at 5, some days at 6. But this week I woke up at 5 every day, actually, except for today. But I went to bed. We went to bed before 9 o'clock. At least I was like going to bed. And I just fell asleep with a headache. I woke up at like 2 in the morning. I still had a headache, so I let myself sleep the extra 45 minutes. I woke up at 5:45. But I've been waking up at 5, and I feel like it's been really helping me feel like what those little things I couldn't get done, I'm getting done.
Yeah.
So I would say like my glue has been like 5 a.m. mornings. I'm going to keep doing them until they're no longer serving me. But right now they're feeling really good. And going to bed early helps that. You know what I mean? So that's why I've also been a little pressury of like, we got to get him in bed. We got to get him in bed. So I'm like, I want to go to bed too. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Yeah.
5 a.m. mornings are my glue. Before we begin our questions, I want to remind everyone to like the video, to subscribe if you're not subscribed, share on all of your platforms that you want to share on, send this to your friends. And also, I want to say, I want to do a plug here since I want to start doing that more. So plug for the Trace app. So the Trace app is an app for trans and non-binary folks and our allies that myself and my two friends co-founded. And it is right now available on Android and iOS. And so the Trace app is a place for you for trans and non-binary folks to document their gender transition and have reminders to document their gender transition and kind of track, as well as a social app for trans non-binary folks and our allies.
Yes.
And so allies are welcome onto the platform. So you can think of it as there's two sides to the app. One side is you in the app tracking your anniversaries, your reminders, photos, journaling, all of those things in one spot. And then that's just you in the app. That's all private. And then you have a more public facing side where you have friends, which we call allies, and you can make friends and ask questions and join channels. And so the app is called Trace, Trace. You can download it on Android and Apple devices, and I'm on there. Jane Lee's on there. We should start a Glued Together podcast channel, and then we can make announcements, and anyone who comes can join. We should do that. I'll do that today. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if I'll do it today, but I'll do it soon.
Channels are fun. It's a good place to meet other people with your same interests, and you know, if you watch this podcast, chances are you're going to want to know other people that do too.
Right. And the last thing I'll say about Trace is that right now, like, I think the coolest part about Trace is that there's no way to see someone's ally number. So you don't know how many people have friends, like how many friends you have. Or if we compare it to Instagram, it's like there's no follower count and there's also no like count. So you can't like be like, oh, they got 500 likes and I only got 100. Like this isn't a competition. This isn't about praising certain people over other people. And I think with that, there just comes an authenticness. Like you can still post photos on Trace and people love it. You can post videos too and stuff, but like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like this reminds me of old school Instagram where you actually shared things about your life instead of just the highlight reel. You know what I mean? And like I'm guilty of it on Instagram because I don't see Instagram as a place for me to build strong connections anymore. I really just see it as a place to like wave hi to your friends. If you meet people that you think are cool, you follow them, then you wave hi to them, but nothing, I don't feel too much deepness happening on Instagram. I try to initiate it, but there's only so much, like, I feel like it's a different platform than it was 8 years ago. And that's what I like about Trace is that you can just literally post an unedited photo and it's fine. Like people are like it, they comment, you know what I mean? There's no expectation to be an influencer or to be perfect lighting. You just get to be who you are and ask questions and build communities. So again, it's Trace. Go download it. you can send Jaylee and I a request on there.
Yes.
We'd love to be your ally.
Yeah, and it's great if you're someone who struggles with comparison, you know what I mean? And like if that's something that trips you up on most social media apps, this is a great way to give yourself a break from that and to just kind of be on there without so much comparison.
Yeah. So moving into our questions,
Yeah.
we have not looked at them. I like grazed barely.
We have them and we're very
have
excited
them.
about them, but we haven't read them yet.
Right.
So
Because again, we rushed into this podcast, but I feel like we're doing good.
Yes.
So Jaylee is going to pick a few. You're just going to read them. We don't know if they're going to be good or bad. Why don't you, I think like starting towards the bottom, honestly would be my suggestion. That feels like a long one. Oh, can we do our recap first?
yeah, where's the recap?
Go into the email. You can email us your questions at gluedtogetherpodcast@gmail.com. Yes. You got to read this, girl.
Oh,
We have a recap from episode number 1.
okay, cool.
Read it up.
All right. So it says, hope you're doing well.
We
I
are.
just-
Thank you.
Yeah. I just wanted to send you an update about the long distance U-Haul situation that
Yes.
you spoke about in episode 1.
Shout out to episode 1. Oh, geez.
Drum roll, please. Says this. You'll be glad to know that shortly after your first episode, we did decide to bite the bullet and move in.
Yeah, baby.
We thought we would also talk about the personal space that you mentioned and even what breaking up would look like to prepare each other in order to lessen the potential blow.
Oh.
Who knew the anxious brain could be helpful like that? LOL. We've been living together for the past 3 months and it's been a dream.
Nice.
The fact that we can have more frequent in-person conversations has improved our communication massively, allowing us to set aside time for chats on our walks around the area and enjoying each other's company as much as we like. We still have our good and bad days,
Don't we all, baby?
but we work together as a team to find out the best way to show up for each other, and that has made all the difference. As a trans person, I think we all deal with that dreading thought that it will never work out with someone, or that you'll never have someone in your life that you can truly give and receive love in the way that we would all like to. Having experiences like this and the knowledge of the experience that you two share has given a lot of reassurance and confidence that these thoughts are not fact.
Oh, love it.
I would, excuse me, I would hope that these experiences can instill the same confidence in others than it has with us. Long story short, I'm loving my life of being the house husband I've always wanted to be.
Yes.
And I fall in love with them more and more each day. Thanks to you both for letting me share my story and the wonderful advice and input that you shared. I hope that you both enjoy our little photo from our local pride.
There was a photo?
I'll send over the wedding invitation as soon as I can.
Hey.
We're getting a wedding
That's
invite.
right.
We love weddings.
I want to see the photo.
Okay, here's a photo.
We can't share it. Sorry.
Aww.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's a really adorable
Cuties.
photo.
It looks like a
and
pride
yeah,
event
like
or something.
the joy is just like radiating.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Cute.
Thank you
well,
for sharing.
congratulations. Yes. We
Yes.
love a good update.
Yes.
So if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, go to episode 1 and
Yeah.
listen to the U-Haul question. Oh, that's so great. I'm happy it worked out for y'all and that you did what you felt was best. That's so great. Yay.
Yay.
We love it.
Yes. Thank you so much for the update. And yeah, I'm looking forward to some more updates.
You know,
It's
someone
really
left
good
a-
to hear.
Someone left a comment on one of our past episodes about how they're like, oh, you joke about being matchmakers. They're like, well, I met my partner at an event and we both watched your videos and that's how we connected. And I was like, hey.
Oh my gosh, we're doing it without
I
even
know.
trying.
I know. I
Just
want.
our existence is matchmaking.
Right. I
That's-
want. No, it's fine. It's fine. I just want the wedding invite. I want to come to your wedding.
And we got one. Well,
I want
apparently
to
we're
come to
getting
your
one.
wedding. That's
Yes.
like my thing. It's
Yes.
like I want to come to your wedding. I won't be the star. I won't outshine you. I will be an amazing supporting actor. That's what I'll be.
Yes. And I can definitely
She could,
E1 too.
yes.
Yes.
You can hang. All right. So again, we haven't read these.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that long one feels like I can only see. I can't actually read. Yeah. Maybe go with those few. Those like 4 right there. 4 or 5.
Okay. So it says, I am FTM, married to my high school sweetheart. Aw. Cisgender woman living in a small town, population under 12,000. I was born and raised here. I live an overall stealth lifestyle, but with being born and raised in the small town, everyone knows everyone and everything. Have a love-hate relationship being here. But I love this small town life, Friday night lights, local fairs, community support. So,
Is there no question? This
I
is why
wonder
we need to read them at a time. Well,
I don't know if the next question is their question.
I think that maybe they're just not. Probably not. I'm going to assume that they're answering when we were like, "Oh, do you like to be in a small town?" Because I was reading all the comments about being in a small town or not. So,
Oh, okay, that makes
remember?
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for
Well,
sharing
yes.
that, Ben. Yeah.
Small towns, love it. Maybe look for a question mark and read that one.
Right. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, next question. Family planning for a trans man and a partner who is cis woman that wants to be pregnant. Finding a donor, navigating fertility, emotions around one parent being biologically related and the other not. All would be great to learn more about. Thank you both for what you're doing for the queer community. Heart.
I love this. We should have an episode about just like our birthing process. Like it's the start, the middle, and the end.
Yeah.
Until the birth. So we'll do that. We'll put that on the calendar as like something to a story time episode. I feel like let us know. Like, do you like story time episodes? Do you think that would be cool? I think that could be fun.
Yeah, we have some stories.
Yeah, I think that I could get into that. So I'm gonna touch on because there was a couple of things. The thing that stood out to me, and then like we'll see what stood out to you was the whole child being biologically like one is like biologically connected and one is not to the other parent. That definitely was a concern, I think, in the beginning of us starting to journey into parenthood and trying to get pregnant. And I think always just something that I always, because when I started testosterone, I was in the camp where they would just tell you that you will never have a kid. Like, you're not having a kid, you're sacrificing that to transition. And there wasn't the conversation of like, well, you could come off of hormones, we could freeze your eggs, and then your eggs could be fertilized and then put into another being and have a baby. So in my mind, it was like I sacrificed being able to give birth in order to like have life. You know what I mean? And so it was a big issue and something I was really concerned about. But I always was just, it's like you go back and forth because a part of you is like, it doesn't matter, it's going to be my kid. And you almost like work at convincing yourself into that. You work at like convincing yourself that this is going to be your kid and that biology is not going to get in the way. And you're always like, you know, who's the real father anyways? Is it the father who leaves or the stepdad who comes in and like supports the kid and the family? And you know what I mean? Like you have all these internal conversations with yourself. You have them with other people. And in my case, like I had other queer families. So I had those conversations with queer families, like the non-birthing person of that family too. But I think what I can tell you now that we have a kid is that the birth part and like the biological stuff doesn't matter right now. And I imagine that at some point it might matter in the sense that like it might matter when Antler's older. He really understands because he knows that I'm trans. I think he does. I mean, I tell him. But, you know, he also doesn't, like, I mean, you know, he doesn't, he thinks that you can go to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, he thinks you can just like get into an airplane and go to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, so he doesn't understand. Like, he knows he came from your belly, but he doesn't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
You know, like, he has no fucking idea. Like, the other day he asked us why he has nipples, right?
Yeah.
And it was a really good question, actually. And I didn't know exactly how to answer it. I feel like I need to learn something about like everyone's born like with X chromosomes or something. I don't know. But the point is that it hasn't come up. And when you are in the middle of parenting, it doesn't come up. You never look at your kid. At least I don't think most people do. Maybe, but I don't think so. You never look at your kid and think like, I don't care that much about you because you're not biologically mine. You never think like, ugh, this kid isn't even mine and I got to take care of it. Like, these are not thoughts that come through your mind when you want a child and you work to have a child and then you have one. You know what I mean? Like, I can't speak for other people, but I can speak for a lot of people that I've talked to, and that's just not part of the conversation right now. So it doesn't ever come up to me. Every now and then I think I have a moment of like, you know, especially I think it comes up mostly when other people are like, oh, he looks just like you. Oh, he acts just like you. And a part of me is like, yes, he does act like me in some ways because he's learning how to be a human by watching us. And he's like, that's what humans do. That's what I'll do. You know what I mean? That's how he learns. Mm-hmm. And so he has some mannerisms that are like mine. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that, you know, even when, you know, I think even like watching someone smile, you kind of they learn how to smile by you. So maybe your smile looks the same, right? Like maybe your laugh is the same because they learn how to laugh because they hear you laugh. And they like, you know, like I laugh like my dad. And I don't know, he never taught me that. And I have my own voice, but I laugh like him, right? And so these are all things that I see like a lot of people point to biology around, but that's not really, in my mind, that's not really biology. That's just learning to be a human and looking at the people that you love and admire and echoing what they do. And so I get more triggered when other people say that because I know in my head he's not biologically mine, and so but they don't know. So I never say anything, but I'm like, oh yeah, like they're like, oh wow, he da 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 just like you. I'm like, yep, and I'm just like, okay, like I'm just not gonna say anything. But it doesn't come up on the regular. It'll probably come up later when he starts asking questions and he learns about like how people get pregnant and that like daddy doesn't have like, you know, a penis. Like he'll learn these things and probably start asking questions, and that's when that conversation will have to be had. But that's where all of the work now in my mind is being put in, is like building that bond with him and being open with him so that when he says like, why didn't you ever tell me, I can say, you know, bub, like I have been telling you. I've just, you know, you're just at a point where now you are understanding and you're learning, and this is a new thing to learn about daddy. But this is a conversation we have been having. Remember when we go to pride parades, you know that I'm transgender. Like we're just learning more about what all of these things mean. So the biology part, like I think it's more in our heads or I know that it's more in your individual head than it is in the love you have for your child or the relationship you build with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, in my own experience, I definitely meet other families, other moms, you know, even at parks or, you know, you first start to make friends as a family or as a mom and a child, you know, assumptions or I guess statements that are assumatory, I guess, I don't know, are just made like, oh, you know, does Antler get that from you or from Aiden? Or like they'll say like, oh yeah, Antler does look like Aiden, and you know, stuff like that. But for me, like I view it a little bit differently. Like of course there's like blood, biology, DNA, right? But it's like we, you know, in our conception process, it it just had to be so intentional, right? I think that that's a big part of this journey as people that have to conceive a child in a different way than the traditional way is we had to be in the awareness that this was all happening and be very choosing that this is going to happen and that this is the way that we want it to happen and this is our choice and really stand firmly in those things. And for us, like before, we would have the actual the process, right? We before the sperm was, put into my body, we would ask for a moment alone with it, and we would sit with it, and we would, ask for Aiden's energy to be invited in to this sperm and, to shine through in this baby's body and and just like setting that intention for Aiden to be very much a part of it. And I think that that's powerful. And I do think that that's a big reason why Antler does show up like Aiden a lot. And, not to mention just like all the time that you spend with him and all of the, the bonding that you do with him. But, astrologically there, you both have Neptune in the first house, and that's rare. It's like, so energetically you do have things in common that I'm just like, that's interesting. Like that we set that intention, we invited your essence
Right.
into
It showed up in the ways it could, right? Like it couldn't literally change his DNA. You know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly. And so
and I think that this is also something we'll get more into when we do make that special story time episode of like what we did.
yeah.
I think that's cool. I think maybe people would be interested in hearing that too.
Absolutely. And I think that for us that helped us feel more confident and more secure in us as a family, and kind of tying the knots where maybe there were loose ends before. So yeah, I mean, we definitely have some stories to tell around it all, but I think the biggest thing for any two people wanting to have a child together that are not able to do it in the traditional way is just really lean into the things that are going to help connect you as a family in your own ways.
Yeah.
Right? Like whatever that looks like for you. Because for us, like it meant that. It meant having a moment alone with the sperm and really like setting intention and like inviting this being to share in Aiden's essence as well as mine and both of our families. And so yeah, you really have to think about what feels connective for you and for your family that you're creating.
Yeah I love it.
Awesome. Next question.
Yeah, what's that short looking one
Here?
Yeah, what's that say? No, you're scrolling up.
This one?
Yep.
What are some green flags you look for in a partner or a friend?
Green flags, great. People always talk about red flags.
Yeah.
I love a good green flag.
Yeah.
This is a funny, unique green flag just for me. And I'm going to focus on this is friend. So I guess say if it's like partner or friend first. So for a friend, for me, a green flag is that like you don't, this is such a kind of a funny one. A green flag is that you don't overly like communicate with me on social media, which is a weird one to say. But like, you're my friend and I want to tell you my stories when I see you. And the friends that I've been able to get closest with don't follow me that closely because they get to hear my stories instead of hearing from my stories online. Like my stories online are for my friends that and like community that I don't see on the regular basis, and they can be kept up to date. But like if I see you often or we talk often,
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you the story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to have already known it.
Mm-hmm.
So this again, that's like a very personal
Mm-hmm.
green flag for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Which
I
is kind
mean,
of random, but it's my honest truth.
yeah, I don't think it's that random. I mean, it's a big part of who you are. You have a really big online presence, and I think the one that comes up for me, like when I hear you say that, is I I have had a lot of trouble with people knowing or thinking they know so much about what's going on in my life because they see me sharing so much online that they don't feel the need to actually check in with me. If like they have my phone number, they can text me or they can call me. But they don't because they feel like they know what's going on with me because I share it online. And so I think we both have an interesting relationship with social media at this point after all these years.
Yeah.
I see it as a green flag when, maybe you did see something online and, like you wanted to connect with me over it and not just my content.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's really what I was trying to say. That's it.
Yeah, like connect with me, not just my content. If we have that type of relationship, if you have my phone number, if I've given it to you, it means that I do want to have that relationship with you and not the content.
And if we're social media friends
relationship,
then like leaving a comment is great and DMing me is great because I'm like, oh yeah, like everyone has people that they really just talk to through social media, just for whatever reasons. Like it's nothing about that relationship. It's just you can't be friends with every single person you're friends with online.
No, none of us have the capacity to do that.
That's kind of you said it. What I was trying to articulate, and you said it much better. And so the green flag, because I feel like we're saying like red flags and mixing them up with green flags. We're like making what's red and green, blue. Red and green makes blue. We're making blue flags here. So the green flag is that if you see something on social, you reach out to me. You text me because you care and you want to learn more. You know what I mean? So like pretty much like the green flag is that we're not only communicating through social media. Like, you know what I mean? And they want to hear more about it,
Yeah. It's hard, like it's like, somebody doesn't respond to your text, but like they respond to your content online. And like it's not that my content isn't who I am, because it's very much a part of who I am, but there's always a part that we're keeping separate from what we're sharing online, and that's just a human thing. And so I think that for me that also feels true.
Yeah.
So I think that we kind of helped each other define it, and obviously it shows up differently for you and for me, and but I think
we got to do a speed round of green flags. I feel like we're really nailing this flag into the ground. I think we need to go a little quicker.
Okay.
I'm feeling a little anxiety because I'm hitting my mark of time.
Totally.
So green flags. Another green flag I think would be if this is funny because green flags is kind of like our top 5 tips for relationship communication and relationship, because that's kind of what's coming to mind right now, right? Like I think a green flag is something related to they have, I think a green flag
speed round.
Yeah, I know. I keep trying to go faster, but it's not working.
If you don't have one, go to me, and we'll just bounce back.
Yeah. Well, mine was gonna say that they have someone else. A green flag is that they have someone else that they talk to things about. Like a green flag is that like Jane Lee doesn't just come to me with her problems. She has her own best friend, her own person she goes to, and I am sharing that responsibility with that other person to help you process and go through things. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I want my best friend to have another really good best friend too. I don't like necessarily selfishly. I'm like, I'm your only best friend. It's like, it's okay that you have other friends. Like, I'm not always going to be available as much as I might want to. So like, yes, like I'm so glad that you have that other friend that you got to lean on when I wasn't available. Does that make sense?
Yes. I like that. Reciprocity.
Ooh, okay.
the feeling.
Big word here.
Yeah, well, it's been a core desired friendship / relationship feeling of mine for many years. Just to experience reciprocity in relationships, meaning like it feels like there's just this like giving and receiving always happening. And it's not like tit for tat or like you're not like counting like, oh, it's your turn or my turn. It's more just like it just feels like a flow of very easeful give and take and give and take. And it doesn't always have to be give and take, give and take, give and take. Sometimes it's give, take, give. Like it's, it just is, it feels balanced. So that's definitely a big one for me.
Yeah, no, I love that one too. That's a good one too. It's just kind of hard. So focused on like the red flags. It's right. It's like,
yeah, I mean, I definitely have given a lot of thought to this. I'm a person who like makes lists of like qualities that I want in a friend and that I want, I haven't done that for a romantic partner in many years, but that is how you came about. I had made a list.
Just,
and then
I am just a figment of Jaylee's dreams. I'm not even real. I think I'm real, but I'm not. I'm actually living in her dream, her manifestation. So. Well, feel free to share another one if you have one lined up. I think friends goes with partners too, though. I think it's relationships, period. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Somebody that encourages me to take care of myself first. Like, like don't feel pressure to come. Like if you're too tired, like take a nap. I'd much rather you be rested and we'll get together next week.
Right.
Like it doesn't feel like pressure to say yes to them at an expense to me. And they're actually cheering for me to take care of myself. And then we'll talk later, you know.
I actually just thought of two. So first one is that they apologize when they need to. Like owning up pretty much is like apologies, owning up to something, right? Like that's important to me because I'm very apologetic in the sense of like, if I did something wrong, I very much actively make sure I verbalize that like, I'm sorry, I definitely did not act appropriately, or I'm late. Like I thought I was going to make it. I didn't. I know that you're upset about that. I try to be very vocal about my apologies. So someone else who can apologize and I don't have to wait or, you know what I mean? Feel like there's a confusion of like, you wronged me and I need an apology. Like verbal communication is very clear, like important to me.
You do that.
Yeah.
So and accountability.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Accountability is a green flag. And then also stating what you need, which I know is hard and it's not going to be perfect. But I think that if I can see glimpses of this green shadow here, like it's really helpful because if I say, and I had this conversation the other day with May, it's like if I say that if I ask you, do you need me right now? Like, do you want me to come over? Do you want me to make you some food? Do you want me to bring you food? Like, are you okay? Right? Like, and you just say like, yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. And then, and then you're upset or something that I didn't come, or like, it's like, I need you to tell me what you need.
Be clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need you to say, yes, Aiden, I haven't eaten all day because I feel like shit and I know I should eat, but I just can't. I just don't want to do it. Can you come over?
This is the hardest work for me in our relationship or in general, like learning to say what I need. And like, I've just like tripped so many times, like trying to do it. And I've gotten better, but it's not easy.
You've gotten way better.
I feel
way
like
better.
Especially, people that are raised, conditioned, and socialized as women, like we are trained to not say what we need and to smile and nod even when we're maybe starving or like like our needs aren't met, but we're just supposed to pretend we're fine.
Yeah.
And
go
ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I cut you off. You don't have to say sorry. I just want to also interject and say that I think that yes, that's true for women. I think that's true for men when it comes to other men.
Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
I was
It's
talking
definitely
to Mike,
true for
like,
men in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a man asking another man for help is extremely hard to do.
Yes.
You
No,
know what I
you're
mean?
right. I
So,
think it's true for.
but I
yeah.
think that I think for women, it's for everyone. It's like kids,
Mm-hmm.
men, women, all people. You feel like you have,
Yeah, you're
you
not
know what I
supposed to
mean?
have needs.
Right. But
Yeah.
for men, I think men are like, yes, I can tell you because you're a woman or a child what I need from you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to another man, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Right.
but I, not to make a parallel, not to make a comparison.
Yeah, no, I think I appreciate that addition because you're right. It's definitely true for men in different ways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have one last one that we can end on? No pressure.
I think I feel really good about where we're at with those green
I
flags.
love all of these. Do you have any?
I would love to continue the conversation in the comments.
Yeah, hey girl, we're getting good at this YouTube thing. Oh my gosh.
Green flags.
Green flags.
Yes.
A green flag that you're listening is that you drop a comment, you hit the like button, you're subscribed. These are all green flags for us. But no, honestly, leave your green flags below. I think that's really awesome. We really appreciate you listening up to episode 11. So excited.
Yes.
I feel like we've got a groove. I'm feeling
Yes,
good.
we have momentum.
Yes, momentum, girl. That's all I'm looking for sometimes. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you in the next episode of Glued Together.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.